In accordance with the Slovenian Armed Forces doctrine, the Light Air Defence Platoon is a force which performs active air defence tasks in the framework of defensive counter-air operations. As an air defence unit, it is a combat support force. The platoon is the smallest air defence unit which can be used independently. Due to its composition, it can be used by the Air Force or the Army. As a part of the Air Force, it can operate independently or within the cluster defense design. As a part of the Army, the Light Air Defence Platoon is an essential part of the forces responsible for the protection of the battalion battle group. It was established for the purpose of cooperation with other units in performing tasks related to area defense and the direct protection of assets such as base defense, and to the protection of units against reconnaissance and air attacks from low and very low altitudes. After receiving the mission order, the platoon commander gives a movement warning order. The operation of the unit starts when weapon systems and vehicles are moved from their depots. After regrouping and the necessary inspections and equipment checks, the reconnaissance team goes to the area of operations in order to reconnoiter main and alternate road networks and to find an appropriate assembly area. The platoon commander and his team perform intelligence preparations in the Tactical Operations Center, where they are informed about the most recent changes to the situation in the area of operations.
Položaj za lahki raketni vod. Objekt obrambe MDR na koti 534 34 EM 943.
Before combat operations, squad commanders, together with other platoon members, perform inspections, tests and controls of equipment with a special focus on the most important material items, such as man-portable air defense systems, MANPADS. Their faultless operation is ensured by means of a dedicated testing procedure. After the inspection of equipment and setting up of a convoy, squad commanders report to the platoon commander on their readiness to move.
Skrba pripravljena. Tretji pripravljen. Radar. Radarski delek pripravljen. Svoja mesta. Zon.
The main body of the unit moves in an organized manner to the area of operations all the way to the dispersal point. While on the move, it acts according to a plan and time schedule and reports to its superior. It obeys the instructions given by the members of a unit responsible for the coordination of movement, as well as control and navigation points, which have been determined in advance and indicated in the movement plan and on the field. In the vicinity of the assembly area, members of the reconnaissance team wait for the main body of the unit and then direct individual vehicles to selected places at the assembly area. When the vehicles are in position, the preparation starts for the order to move, referred to by the members of the air defense units as Readiness State 7 or Ready to Move. In order to achieve interoperability with the NATO structure of integrated air defense, the unit often uses English terms and acronyms which are used in the armed forces of other NATO members. In Readiness State 7, vehicles are usually arranged in the form of a fishbone, pointing towards the direction of departure, as this enables the fastest possible movement. An entry control point is set up and all-round protection of the assembly area is established. Before the beginning of combat operations, inspections, tests and controls of equipment are carried out again. Resupply is performed for all classes of supply and possible deficiencies or defects are corrected. If time and situation allow, drills and exercises are performed. Air defense squads are resupplied with manpads, which are placed into containers on the roof of a terrain vehicle and in a trailer, which can be connected to the vehicle in order to increase the basic load. While the unit prepares for movement, the reconnaissance team is given the task of examining firing positions and elements of deployment. The reconnaissance team commander acknowledges that he has received the task and that he understands it. He conducts map reconnaissance, makes a decision and gives an order for reconnaissance in the field.
V rajonu Brest, Kota 166. V tem rajonu izvidimo ognjene položaje za prvi in drugi oddelek. Južno od tega rajona najdemo RTM.
The number of the reconnaissance team members is adjusted to the requirements of the individual task. Immediately after the receipt of the movement execution order, the team conducts reconnaissance of the future area of operation for the platoon. The reconnaissance team always observes the current tactical situation together with conditions on the main and alternate roads. It takes into account the terrain situation as well as the security and NBC situation and weather conditions. Once the reconnaissance of firing positions for air defense systems, command support systems and combat support positions is completed, an echo report is sent to their superior. The reconnaissance of firing positions includes determining the position, accessibility and ground-bearing capacity of the terrain, determining the known reference points, preparing the radar coverage diagram for radar positions with an artillery compass, examining the possibility for the use of radio and radio relay communications and determining the place for connecting potential wired connections, determining the place for missiles and fuel resupply, developing protection and camouflage plans, determining the accommodation area for personnel and equipment, determining the place for the NBC Scout and for the airspace observer. The reconnaissance team then returns and includes the information obtained into the site documents. All firing positions are assessed and described in the site report.
Izvajate zračno obrambo radarja in območje razmestitve lahke bataljonske bojne.
When the superior approves the site documents, the commander of the Light Air Defence Platoon completes the decision-making process, prepares a mission order and gives it to his subordinates.
Cone delovanja 175 do 145. Ognjeni položaj krokar. Ponavljam, ognjeni položaj krokar.
The site documents are presented in detail in the mission order. This is usually the responsibility of the reconnaissance team commander.
Držite se levo in nadaljujete naprej, kjer boste videli je označen ognjeni položaj.
The Light Air Defence Platoon is then ready to carry out its basic mission, which is the protection of the assigned installations and units against airspace threats. Immediately after the receipt of the movement execution order, the air defense squads move to their firing positions and assume the ordered readiness state. Before taking up firing positions, special attention is paid to area sweep, the determination of functions and protection of the squad after the ordered readiness state has been assumed.
Malo levo, drugi, malo desno.
Stroj pripravljen!
Smer severa, moja spojna točka, strmaj na Kripsku in naprej.
Dvojka vidi!
3-6, do smeri 12, za drugega, od smeri 12, do smeri 6. Objekt obrambe, smer 2, daljnost 3. Radar! Najvišji hrib! Prvi vidi! V redu, posuj in javljaj!
The Light Air Defence Squad is a highly mobile unit. When taken up firing positions in less accessible terrain, a transport helicopter is often used.
Prvi pripravljen! Drugi pripravljen!
The basic command post of the platoon is set up and the observation of airspace is established by means of a radar sensor, which provides the platoon with a local air picture. An information and communication link is then established with the higher echelon command post, enabling the platoon to be connected to the higher level of command and to receive the air picture from other sensors, which in turn enables good command and fire control.
Nova za prvo, 2, 13.
The Light Air Defence Platoon has a system of command and control which is divided into two areas. The first area relates to the battle management of the platoon in its area of operations and is referred to as force operations. It includes all the procedures and activities for the safe, coordinated, effective and efficient execution of the platoon's basic mission, which is the defense of the airspace. The most important activities include intelligence preparation, land operations planning and command, logistic support, movement planning and command, administrative support, and other support functions, for example, coordinating the use of the frequency spectrum and managing cryptographic material.
Pod linijo 4, Indija. Pod linijo 5, Charlie 1.
The second area is the battle management of the platoon during its operations and is referred to as engagement operations. It includes introducing and maintaining the chain of command and control, managing and controlling the platoon squads with special focus on managing the operation of the missile and sensor air defense systems, determining the readiness states, airspace observation and surveillance, detecting and identifying airspace targets and transferring the data, as well as allocating the targets to gunners manning air defense systems. The notification and warning of airspace threats, issuing fire control orders.
Linija 6, Alfa, linija 7, November, linija 8, Alfa, linija 9, Alfa, linija 10, Alfa. Konec, sprejem. Za prvega, 6, uniči. Smer 6, oddaljenost 6. Pravda se za salvo, odhod. Baterija. Nameri! Ogen!
Immediately after launching a missile, the air defense squad moves to its next firing position. After firing, the air defense squad goes to the assembly area of missile resupply. If the squad has been at the firing position for several days, it is resupplied in all other classes of supply. The Air Defence Platoon operates in areas which have been subject to air attacks. Therefore, unexpected events can happen while on the move, such as finding unexploded ordnance. The unit must react in accordance with the standard operating procedure. First, it secures the area and reports the finding. Then, it proceeds with its task.
Tukaj bravo, naleteli smo na NUS, situacija pod nadzorom, ni poškodovanih, zavarovano območje. Nadaljne informacije sporočimo. Končano.
The Air Defence Squad engages the most important airspace targets with salvos, which means that two gunners engage the same target simultaneously. This is in order to increase the probability of a direct hit. Other targets are engaged individually with the salvo in reserve, especially in cases of multiple targets. The task of the Light Air Defence Platoon is successfully completed when the threat of reconnaissance or attack from the airspace is over. That is, when the asset or the unit under the protection of the squad is no longer in danger. The Light Air Defence squads are then recalled from their firing positions and moved to the assembly area. The platoon radar continues to observe the airspace until there are no threats within the area of operations or until the superior orders otherwise. When the threat is over, the radar is redeployed and the task of the Light Air Defence Platoon is complete.